probably shouldn't put that up, but I'm putting it up anyway. All right, everybody. You don't have to get up. You can sit down. I guess I should turn that off. It'll stay there. If you got a salad handy, funny salads, encouraged. You don't have to get up. Sit down. Shit, now I got to figure out why that's happening. If you got a salad handy, funny salads, encouraged. All right, y'all aren't even screen sharing yet, so let me start screen sharing. Screen sharing. Is that like Karen? Let's see, so we'll allow that and then block it over there. This part of the screen is devoted to people chatting about stuff. This part of the screen, we're going to watch the movie Milius on and see what happens. So,
writing's not that easy, but
leave us alone. We'll go over here and start this thing off, right?
Tonight's episode, The Endangered Species.
You know what the real endangered species is? Me, because I just broke my electric tennis racket, so I don't have an electric tennis racket anymore, and the mosquitoes know it, and they're swarming on me. I got to get like a damp towel or something to wing it. All right, it's not damp, but it's a towel. It's going to be a lot of towel winging because I got mosquitoes here right now. All right, so we're going live, and this is unprecedented. I know that other lesser channels will sometimes have watch parties, but they hide the movie that they're watching so that they don't have to worry about censorship or whatever. We're gonna go right in the face of it. So here's the movie, Milius. Nobody knows what it is because that's a weird word, right? What does that even mean? So have you seen this movie before? G23 has joined us. You've seen this movie before?
I have not.
You know what it's about?
Nope.
Okay, so you're just watching it because we're doing it or whatever?
Yep.
Okay, so basically there's this bunch of movies from back in the day that were all made kind of like by a bunch of guys because they all went through film school together. That's how I understand it, if I remember this thing right. And Milius is one of them. Spielberg is one of them. DiCaprio or some shit is one of them. And then who's the other one? Somebody who went to school with Steven Spielberg. I can't remember his name, but everybody knows who he is. Scorsese. These guys all went to school together in California in, let's say, the 70s. I don't know when this was, but a long time ago. And Milius was one of them, and he was making his movies. They were making their movies, going to school for film school. And Milius would take Spielberg and the other guys out shotgun shooting and stuff like that. And because of that, they see that, or they understood, they hadn't been exposed to that. So like a lot of us know as gun people, when you take somebody out shooting, then they're half the time they're like, wow, this is awesome, right? So Spielberg and them went shooting with them to kind of get rid of the stress of making movies, I guess, and dug it. And that's why there's some gun stuff in Spielberg's movies that isn't dumb or fake or scared of guns or anything. So I thought that was pretty cool. Milius, though, I think he directed or wrote or something Dirty Harry. So he's Dirty Harry. And then he's Red Dawn. That's his project. That's like all his. But because he went to school with these other guys, he was in Apocalypse, or he was part of Apocalypse Now and some other movies from like that era. So if you've seen the movie The Big Lebowski, he's one of the characters is based off of him. The dude, I think, I don't remember that movie, but one of those characters in the movie is based off of this guy. So he's a real character in real life. And I didn't really know anything about that. I just knew I liked some of the movies that this guy's associated with. So whenever I started doing the research into Red Dawn and figuring out who this guy was, I came across this documentary. And let's see when it tells us when the documentary was made. Big of Lebowski. So it was made in 2017. So somewhere around there is when I started. Well, I mean, I first went to the Red Dawn locations in 2012, but then it took a while before I could get back to them. So this is probably right when I'm like figuring out all about more, looking for more details on the Red Dawn filming locations and the movie and everything. And then I find out about this movie. So it's a documentary. It's almost 2 hours. What is that? It's almost 2 hours long, and it's free on YouTube right now. Otherwise, you got to pay for this movie other places. What is that noise? It's not windy out, and I'm hearing something knock on the door, so we're about to have a gunfight. This dude has a link, and this dude has a link. So if they act like they don't have links, then they just decided not to join. They're belligerently refusing to join. Look, there's even a link right there. So there's literally no excuse for anybody not joining a G23. Oops, I was almost going to remove you. You are in here with this. And I guess we're going to go because there's nothing else to say. So anyway, that's just the movie. I seen it once, maybe twice a long time ago. I haven't watched it in a while. So it's basically a documentary on this guy. With that being said, we're playing it. So you can either watch it this way or watch it on this link. Wish I could watch, but I have 2 hours left at work. Oh, this counts as work. In fact, this counts as overtime. So you can clock into overtime, sit down, and watch this movie. Here you go. Well-known loophole. If you got to work on Sunday, you get to watch Milius movies for double time. Can you hear it? Just kidding. Doesn't say anything yet. So is there a way to see this bigger, but not that big? Okay. I'm pretty sure it hasn't said anything yet. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
Juxtaposition of images, color, and graphics. I don't give a damn about that stuff. So my
Can you hear it okay?
concept of what I do goes back to the story of North America thing of being able to tell the tale of the Trojan Wars again and again and pass down until finally it's written down by somebody.
I think I could make it louder on the other machine, so I'll try that also.
I'm John Milius. I'm a filmmaker, a historian, and a storyteller.
Okay, so now I'm going to try to cue these things up so that we hear the other one through this one. 106. We need to be at 114. 115. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. How's this for volume now? The trick is pausing them both.
I'm a filmmaker, a historian, and a storyteller.
Good.
Milius had more movies made than any writer in the history of Hollywood.
He was really one of the first guys who said, hey, this is how people talk.
Oh, his first movie was Big Wednesday.
He doesn't write for pussies and he doesn't write for women. He writes for men because he's a man.
He's not one of those directors that just goes for
Oh, there's swears in this movie.
He's a hired gun. It has to be in him.
Not in a gay way, though.
He made the most defining films of those decades.
He said this man participated in or directly wrote and directed these great films with these great parts in it.
It's pretty staggering.
Big Wednesday is the first surf movie.
the journey he took to get there.
Or at least the
interesting
first
about
real
John
one.
is he has a personality that is bigger than the movies.
John is such an interesting person, such a great storyteller just in life.
Francis couldn't tell a story like John. George is a great storyteller. He couldn't tell a story like John. None of us. He likes to blow it up bigger in life.
Oh. And then he's created this persona.
I've heard that he referred to himself as a Zen anarchist.
This gun-toting kind of Wild Bill character.
I hear Milius pulled a gun on some executive.
I like John because he says what he thinks, although I sometimes worry that he doesn't think.
He's the teddy bear with an AK-47.
He wanted to make himself into a legend.
So obviously this movie's pro Milius, I think.
I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. It was a nice Midwestern kind of life, and everything was normal. It snowed in the winter. My family was okay. They were pretty dysfunctional. All three children usually were trying to kill each other.
My dad's father, my grandfather, had a shoe company, a Milius shoe company. And he basically retired when my dad was young.
My father was quite a bit older. He was 58 when he sired me. So I really came from more of a different generation. My heroes when I was a little kid were the incomparable Gene Autry, Roy Rogers. John Wayne was an equal influence. Oddly enough, Chuck Yeager, because he broke the sound barrier. He was the greatest test pilot. We stayed in St. Louis, till I was 7. We moved to California.
Can you still hear it okay?
It was right around
Yeah, we still here.
my dad, who was becoming, a teenager, and he really rebelled. I think he didn't like that kind of country club sort of society, and I don't think it likes him.
Well, by the time I was a teenager, I was sort of a black sheep of the family. I was sort of a bad kid. I was always outcast.
There's something about his personality that is sort of oppositional. If the counterculture was going left, he was going to go right to be the opposite of the counterculture. He was trying to be as controversial in a way as possible. So for everything he did, he was going to push off in a different direction.
The day would come when I'd been in school long enough, and I'd be, drafted or enlist and go to Vietnam and probably never come back. Matter of fact, I didn't plan on coming back. I was going to be a naval aviator, and I planned that, I probably wouldn't live past 26 because I didn't see any point in it. I thought I'd either be killed or have a military career. And I had asked for the and I washed out. It was doing I just going to my war. I mean, then I had to reconsider what I was going to do with my life.
He came from a generation that, and an education that espoused learning about the classics. It was his way of living through those characters. And he was exercising that sort of that deep seated issue within himself to be that guy who goes into the military and sacrifices his life or is willing to sacrifice his life. He couldn't do those things.
Then he had this moment where he was kind of aware of his lack of importance in the world and that he hadn't done anything of meaning.
And I wandered into a theater, and they were playing a week of Kurosawa films. I saw just about everything he made. It never occurred to me what a director was. After seeing those Kurosawa films, I realized that the idea of making films or writing films or something like that. And though I wanted a military career, I never was able to have a military career because I had asthma. Being a director is about the next best thing. And I ended up at USC. SC is the West Point of Hollywood.
I think at that time there were only 3 film schools in the United States. It's hard to imagine that today, but it was NYU in New York, USC, and UCLA.
What USC is now is very different than what it was then. They were working out of these small shacks,
Which had been converted into classrooms and a production stage. And
now it's harder to get into the film school and med school. There's thousands and thousands of students trying to be directors today. Back then, there was just a handful of us.
So the pack at USC, there was a group of us, I don't know, probably a dozen or so, who really loved movies, really were aggressive, and were very consumed by making movies. And we were part of that group.
All right, well, I guess that's how long it goes. It killed the stream.
Yep. It looks like. Is there something behind it? Is it still playing?
Well, no, I have the movie playing on my computer, yeah, but they killed it. Hopefully I still got a channel. Okay, they didn't kill my channel.
Yeah, sometimes they just kill the stream.
All right, well. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I guess I could, the only other way to do it is make everybody watch it and then listen, but yeah. Yeah, I think the way to do it is have a bunch of people. Oh, did it give me my stream back? Oh, they gave me the stream back.
Yeah, if you stop the movie or if you stop music for like a minute, they'll reboot your stream. And then you can go about it for a while. And then you have to pause and stop and talk about what you've seen. It's like doing the review on music and stuff.
Okay, so then it's still live. Everybody's still out there. I just killed the poll. Oh, well, they killed my stream because the movie's still playing over here. I just had it playing on a different window, but they don't like me playing it. So I was going to say the way to do it is to have everybody. How does Matt do it? That coward. He does it. Honda does it. How do they do it? They bring everybody into the room, right? Like into the StreamYard, and then we all just play it and talk about it while we're watching it or something. I'm not going to start over. Are you crazy? Plus, we can't run into locked and loaded here in a little bit. So you just have to pause it a lot. Well, then instead of playing the movie, we're just going to jump through it, I guess. So basically, you get the gist of it. This guy, I guess, couldn't go to Nam. So then he's like, dang it, what am I going to do? So he goes into film school because he watched Kurosaka movies. So then he starts making biker movies? Or does he help what's his face on his space movie? I know he's like helping these guys at school. He talks about that. Was it bot?
It was considerably different than
Now, let's see if we can work.
There's nothing I can do. I have to play through their stupid commercials because that's the way their stupid system works. So is that how Matt does it? He just plays for a little while and then stops?
Yeah, you play for a few minutes, then you pause it, you talk, everyone talks about what they're seeing, and then you start it back up, you watch it for a few minutes. And so you could take a 2-hour movie and turn it into like a 3.5-hour movie.
Ugh. Okay. Well, whenever, and you got to watch the commercials because they're lame. And then what we'll do is skip. Everybody knows you don't have a job, so quit acting like you got a job, kid. All right, so basically, let's see what he's talking about with Harrison Ford and whatnot.
And of hell no, we won't go, was the theme of the protest generation.
hippies used to wear buttons that said Nirvana now, and they had a peace sign on them, and it was like Nirvana now, you know. And so I took all those buttons and modified it so that the peace sign looked like a B-52, and put Apocalypse Now.
Oh, okay.
It's just a mushroom cloud. Let's get it over with.
Talking once, and you said, you know, I'm really a hippie. People think that I'm right wing, but I'm really a hippie. It's just that the hippies wouldn't elect me king, and I want to be king.
So he's kind of like, what's his face? I can't think of his name. Fucking, the writer guy. Except he's a filmmaker. So this is talking about, I think, just talking about the going to school and being an influence on the other, what do you call them, directors.
Kind of a changing of the guard that happened, and John was at the forefront of getting into Hollywood because his name was in the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah, Kingpin says it's down again.
Oh, really? So you can't watch it even hardly at all? Oh, it says suspended, I see. All right. I'm going to read no terms of service. I got time for that. Well, I need to go to the fucking store and buy a new electric fucking tennis racket thing. This is driving me nuts. All the dry towel does is knock them out of the hair, and then they just get up madder.
Yeah. Well, at least we tried.
Yeah. I can't tell. Oh, 8 people showed up, so it's not like a whole bunch of people are being inconvenienced by it, and everybody can still go watch the movie if they want. Yeah, it says it's pumping it out there still. So I'll just wait till it goes live and then shut it down. Am I corking anybody right now?
Not that I know of.
Come on. Wonder how long. It probably penalizes you longer and longer each time so that you don't just coast and get knocked out all the time. I don't know if it's coming back. I don't remember when it came back last time. It just sort of happened. I didn't know it was coming, so I wasn't waiting for it or timing it or nothing. It's been a couple of minutes this time.
Yeah, it's probably 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh, there it is. And in that time, we did the giveaway. So congratulations to the winner. The big weekend prize. It's amazing. It's the biggest prize done. They say it's the biggest prize that's ever been done on eBay before, but yeah, that's what happened. Oh, the stream was down? Well, we'll have to catch that in the after chat, I guess, then. Yeah, so they're not letting us. It's censorship. Just because we won't follow their rules, they won't let us watch some movie that ain't ours on our stream and make profit. You can't even imagine how much profit I was going to make off of that movie. I was planning to retire off of this viewing of this movie that's free on YouTube, but they figured it out. They thwarted my plot, and they've ruined everybody's weekend. I would call your representatives. Don't worry about Chipman. Don't worry about the pistol brace stuff. Don't worry about Afghanistan. Call your representatives and complain about that on Sunday afternoon. We were semi-inconvenienced by not being able to watch this free movie the way we wanted. It's unconscionable. This fly needs to die, and I've knocked it out of the air twice with a towel here, and it just keeps getting up as if to say, maybe it's one of them Taliban drones. I don't know. Infringed, yes. But definitely. If Night Strike was here, he'd be yelling at really loud. The way as loud as Barbecue would start his podcast. That's how loud Night Strike would be yelling at. So there's one takeaway from this, and if Clover was here, he would reiterate it. YouTube is out to get me specifically. This was an attack by YouTube on me because I was just trying to watch a free movie that I don't own against their rules or whatever. But even though the children are the victims here, a bunch of orphans and nuns were going to watch this. And this was going to be their only recreation for the month. And because of YouTube's censorship of me, it's ruined it. Ruined their month. Sorry you had to be here for it. I think at this point, the only thing left to do is to sit around for about an hour, I think, at this point. Wait a minute. I can't believe what that is. Oh, no, you got to wait around for 90 minutes before Locked and Loaded is on. That gives you enough time to watch most of a previous episode, or you can maybe watch a half of a G23 show, quarter of a G23 show, depending on which one you pick up.
Last night, I think it was about 3 hours.
So maybe a half of one. And then, yeah, so you got that going. We were going to have a van chat this evening. That's getting kicked to the curb. We will have a live conversation with a friend who's going to Dragon Man's, and he's looking for some advice on having a trip to Dragon Man's, a road trip to Dragon Man's. So we'll be going live. He's the overnighter, so we'll be going live at FOSS at the FOSS time lines overnight. And yeah, you got anything else? G23?
I don't. I just do my live stream on Saturdays for the most part.
Yeah. So yeah, again, let's keep in mind that this is YouTube infringement. It's against us as gun owners. It's probably Biden's fault and Chipman. I guess we'll be back to pick you up later if they don't shut down my channel because of this. Oh, I guess I should end it in a decent way. I'm going to end it a decent way. Let's do it with the gizzard thing. Oh, did I get the new gizzard one up here? Hold on. As soon as I get it up here, we can get a new gizzard situation. Got to figure out where I put it. I think I put it here and then here. And then I think I just named it this. Oh, I already screwed it up. Dang it. This is what you get for not paying. Oh, no, wait. I think I screwed it up. We'll know in a minute here once it's done uploading. 10 people here now. What is YouTube? As soon as they censor you, then they send people out? Or that's probably 10 narcs, a whole bunch of narcs taking notes on like Oh, here's what they're doing wrong. Here's something they're doing against the terms of services. Here's another violation. Because you can tell, oh, there was 10 over here, and then there was only 7 here. So that's at least 3 NARCs. All right, come on. There we go. So I think I ruined this, though.
So let us know what you think. We'll be watching the comments wherever you find the video, over on gunstreamer.com or on guntube.org.
Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.